welcome back to A City Planner Plays City Builders, where we are building the city of Verde Beach. In the previous episode, we started building out this nature reserve area, and I was unable to get it to a place where I was comfortable leaving it. So today we're going to work on this nature reserve by not actually working on it. We're going to start increasing the density in this area and begin work on our downtown. That said, there is a couple of housekeeping things that I want to take care of. I did forget, or I don't know if forget's the right word. It was an oversight on my behalf to leave a bump here that's creating some turbulence in the water. So let's take care of that quickly. Okay, that's much better. And there are some names I'd like to give things, and I'm probably going to do that throughout the episode. First of all, before we make any significant changes, I do want to fill this area in. I have this little district here, and what I think I'm going to do, looking at the land use, and it would seem to be natural to have some sort of entertainment destination here. That said, we have some conflicts. So we have some residential properties here. We have the tourist district here. So we wouldn't necessarily want to just wholesale make this a large-scale entertainment district. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this. First of all, let's get our district placed appropriately. So we will make this an entertainment district. However, I think we're going to flank this with some office type uses. So this is going to be not only an employment hub, but it'll be an entertainment destination. So the reason why I'm doing this is I want to really block a lot of this noise from residential activities and other sorts of things that might be more disturbed by having this really loud entertainment district. Okay, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to place some landscaping. Actually, I'll wait till this builds out a little bit to place the landscaping, but I want to be able to really make sure that we are keeping the noise of this area within this area. Another thing that I'm thinking of right off the bat, let's take a look at our tram network. I think the more natural place now would be to place this down this street here. What is this street? All right, I had to turn the street names on, but they were off for some reason. So we'll put this down Lincoln Street rather than down Washington. And I think that that's going to be a big improvement for this area. The other thing I'm going to do, I think I might prevent, well, no, actually, we'll just move this. Just a quick relocation. Oh, no wonder why it's not working. One small segment here. There we go. Let's speed things up so that these fix themselves. All right. Slow things back down again, and we will add some stops. All right, so I'm noticing that the buses aren't stopping in this area, and I'm not 100% sure why I made that decision, but I don't agree with it. So they're blocked down. That's why. Okay, that's okay. That makes sense to me. So now we at least have a way for people to get to this entertainment district, but we're providing access to the hotels over here, providing access to this entertainment district here, but we don't have a lot of intra-city or inner city access here. So I think what we're going to do is start to lay out our downtown and start thinking about how this is all going to interact. So whenever we're laying out major roads, we want to respect the geography, respect the topography, understand, what we're doing. So I am going to begin laying out our arterial to get down to the water. And I think that I'm going to just end this at the water. Let's see. All right. So I'm just going to go straight to the water, and this is where it'll end. More or less. We want to meet up with this collector because that's truly where it's going to end. So let's get this collector laid out. Okay, so now that's nice and clean. I do think that we could do a little bit of grading to clean this up. Obviously, normally in real life, this grading would occur first, but this is City Skylines, so we will grade after. Okay, so I like that. And now we have a formal connection from our highway all the way to our tourism district. So I have a large naming list at this point. And what I think I'm going to do is start to name some roads. So one of the things that I really thought was neat on the Discord server, someone wrote a whole kind of a story about a family in the community of significance, the Keller House family. And I would highly recommend, if you want to know the backstory, to go ahead and to check out the Discord server. It's within the Verde Beach suggestions portion of the Discord server, and you can figure out why I've named this road Keller House Avenue. Okay, so we've got that there. Let's make sure that Sunset Boulevard extends all the way down. Okay, and there could be some grading along Sunset, and that might occur in the... Well, I'm going to do it now. I was going to say I could do that in the future, but no time like the present. So one of the things that I really like about this location is it's not flat. So all of the buildings, even if you have lower density buildings up here, they're going to be, 30 feet, 20 feet above some of those lower buildings. So, or give or take, I guess I could count it out. 10, maybe along the shore, another 10. Yeah, so up here, 20 feet above these buildings. So even if you had some mid-rises, you'd still get a view of the water. So I like that. I think that's a good idea. So I'm building this portion of the network for a very specific purpose. And that purpose is I want to start thinking about transit. Now, I think that since the community already knows that it wants to be a tourist destination, they would start thinking about transportation. And one of those things that they would think about is mass transportation, how to get people into this area. So I want to have a train, a train hub. And what I'm thinking is that this might be the most appropriate because there's really nowhere to go from here. So this is the multi-platform end station. In the future, we might have some more lines coming out from here. We certainly will. I like trains a lot, so this is something that I'm going to work in here. So that said, I'm going to take a look. Here's where the road stops curving, so I'm just going to place a stub road for the time being. And we'll place our train station right there. We need to do some grading. Okay, So I wanted to make sure that, I already know that we're going to have to turn coming out of here to try to work with some of the grades. I want this to be as minimal as possible, knowing that we're already going to be doing that. So we'll see how successful it is in just a second. So I want to make a connection with this line over here. This will allow us to connect up to our other platform that we have over here and to the outside world. The other thing that we're going to probably need to do, I'm going to need to reconfigure this road a bit to go over this track. We're going to need to do some pretty significant work. So let's turn on our grading as we're laying down our tracks. We're going to try to cut diagonally across this. Okay, so more or less this is what I want to do. I'm going to try to improve this connection a bit. Okay, so now what I've done is I've basically prioritized this rail movement, and I'm making sure that I have a real easy connection to the outside world and to this other platform. So I think this is going to be really important. This is going to break up our grid down here and really form the foundation of it. Along with this, I want to think a little bit about some of the unique buildings that might be placed in this area. And I'm going to place a couple of those as well. So one thing that you're going to notice is that I'm just being really careful with this grid creation here. We are going to have kind of a few different grids coming together, I think, as we reach this new area. I kind of just want to be mindful of that. Maybe I'm getting too particular about this, but I really like doing this. So apologies for getting very, very weird about this. I think it's a lot of fun. So this could be another park entrance way over here. So let's keep this moving. I'm not sure that it makes a ton of sense to stop at any point at this venture. All right, so we have that, and I think I want to think about, I want to give a little bit of thought about what you're going to see right here. Now we could leave this a completely open view directly at that volcano, or we could have some sort of building that's really kind of the dominant feature in the downtown area, and that's kind of the way I'm leaning. Not sure how residents would feel about that, but we'll give it a go anyway. And after giving this some thought, Maybe framing this view between two larger, unique buildings is a more natural way of approaching this. So I'm going to take two of my Creators Pack buildings and use this as a way to kind of define this area. You come up here in between these buildings and you see that beautiful, beautiful view. Okay. And you have high quality transit, so we're going to have a lot of density in this area. So I'm going to finish building out this area, and then we're going to do a little bit of zoning. And I think that that's the main thing I wanted to accomplish today, was to really start filling in this downtown area. We've also got to get our transit lines set up in this area, so we'll do that too. Okay, so you'll notice that the grid in this part of town is breaking down in a significant way, and I have no problem with that. We're going to reestablish that over here, and this is the nature preserve, so there's some topographic issues already. Like, this is going to be a challenging place to build, so why get overly prescriptive with the roadway network? We do have what could be a pretty nice grid along the shore, and that's completely fine in my book. So I am going to continue this last bit down here and kind of leave it there for now. Okay, so at this point you might be asking yourself, would any city in its right mind build this density of roads without any development in the works? And the answer is no. It would never happen, not in a million years. But I really want to kind of plan out this area and give it some thought. So I think this is a way to do that. This would all be in plans and it would get filled in along the way. So I do want to fence along the nature reserve in this area. The main reason for that is the zoning. I don't want to inadvertently zone anything over here. So I'm going to do that real quick now. Well, that's probably good enough. The other thing I want to do before I forget, I will give you guys a little bit of insight into what I'm thinking. So this area down here would be a really high quality spot for a university that caters to the students that want to learn more about biology, zoology, things of that nature. So I'm going to build a campus area here. Not 100% sure when we're going to build this just yet, but this will be the area. Now, I like this area for a number of reasons. Number one, high quality access to transit, great access to the zoo, so you'd be able to get your internship right across from the area that you're going to school, which would be fantastic. Okay, so now I didn't forget about that. We'll need a name for that campus area, so if you have one, let me know. It's going to be a campus focused on zoology and science, so it'll be an interesting one. All right, so I mentioned the transit routes. So let's get our first train route going in the city. It'll be a pretty simple route, just kind of going back and forth. Here, back and forth. I'm interested. So we cranked up our service here. Let's see. Let's get our line. Whoa. Our line details. So it's better, except for in this area, 10th Street. It's got some issues. Okay, well, we will deal with that in the future. At this point, let's go through and fix some of our roadway names. Okay, so we've extended Ocean Avenue along the ocean. Sunset Boulevard is fixed. We now have Keller House coming all the way down here. I do think that we are going to convert. Let's finish this off. Keller House will turn into a collector and apparently become Myrtle again. And so one of the things that was tossed around a bit in the Discord server was the idea of naming these streets after fish. And I really like that. So I think that we're going to do a bit of that. So we are starting our avenues here, looks like. So we are going to have some avenues here with just numbered streets. Well, I'm kind of not sure that I love that. Yeah, I think we're just going to start with the fish. Okay, so we have this street looping. I don't want that. Let's give this a couple different names. All right, so now I think we have all of our roads named after fish, and I like it. I think it's neat. So what we're going to do now is just kind of continue some of our zoning. Now, one thing I'm noticing that I messed up. So I called a mulligan in the previous episode. I think I'm going to have to do it again. So first of all, someone made an excellent observation that I placed these observation kind of lookout areas on the wrong side of the trail. So let's relocate these. And the other thing, we can see that the view is becoming obstructed by some of these buildings. So I zoned incorrectly right here. Everything in this area needs to be lower density. So I'm going to do something fairly unrealistic and call for the removal of these buildings. How dare they? So, all right. I think this will be much better. Let's take a look. Get back to our observation area. This building right here. Let's see how we're looking. Much better. Now our view will not be obstructed. So I am noticing that we're having some trash collection issues, and this is to be expected. First of all, our garbage processing status is not in a good place. So before we continue zoning, I think I am going to place this waste processing complex over on our Public Works campus. And with that, we need to have a waste transfer facility. And this will give us good range, because right now, we take a look. Because we have that, we have a pretty decent reach over here. I think I can put this right over here and still provide the kind of access that we're looking for. Now, I don't want to place that directly on that collector, so I'm going to place this kind of near some of our other kind of trip generating uses. So have this over here, and I think that that's going to fix this. So we need utilities over here before we start zoning, so I am going to build out our water infrastructure, and it looks like we're going to need a sewage treatment facility as well. Okay, so we have, as always, looped our water system and made sure that we're covering all of our new lands. Luckily, again, because of our grid size, the road is not covered in this area, and that's completely fine. So I think we're in a place where we can start zoning. Now, actually, I take that back. We need to get some water treatment again. So again, in our public works campus, and I think we want to look at these. What is going to make the most sense for us? So when we look at the inland water treatment, we're not really concerned about, we are concerned about pollution. We don't want to pollute our water source. We're going to have pollution no matter what. So maybe just backing this a little bit away from our plant is going to make the most sense from our pump is going to make the most sense for us. So I'm looking at the drain capacity. Right here, this is 60,000. This one's 160,000. Our drain capacity on this one. And then I'm also looking at our weekly upkeep. And what I'm noticing is clearly the advanced inland water treatment plant is going to be a good option if we care about keeping the city clean. It costs double in upkeep to the inland water treatment plant that's not as clean, but it has 1/5 the pollution. A little bit more noise pollution, but that doesn't matter. I do think we're just going to go for it and kind of just deal with some of the externalities here. So I'm going to extend this over because in the future I do think we're going to need more of these facilities, and I want to put them side by side and kind of make a bit of a complex out of it. For now we only need one, but let's plan for the future. And that should resolve some of our water issues, our sewage treatment issues anyway. Okay. So the other thing I want to think about before we start planning a whole bunch of residential are school needs. And we are at capacity in our elementary schools, our high schools, our university, not worried about that. Library. So I'm going to place some of these buildings first. That would be something at the forefront. There would be the school district would have a study done, and they would look at the needs that the city would have in the future. There's some really unique opportunities for educational campuses in this area, being this close to really a unique amenity in the new nature reserve. So I think that we're going to have kind of a campus of buildings. Actually, going to waste some money here. Let's have some really, really unique buildings here. So I thought it might be kind of neat to have some higher end schools in this area. We're going to need to do a little bit of grading to fix this. This area in general is difficult to develop because of the grades here. And you kind of see there's a significant cliff that's created. So I'm going to back that out a little bit just for grading purposes. We're not going to be able to create, really very natural grades if these are next to each other. The other thing we're going to put in this area are some amenities that I think would be useful for a school like this. So we'll put a basketball court and a playground. What's the other thing? Let's see. Since we have our high school here, it might be nice to have... well, these are just too big. So we're kind of stuck. We don't have really good, I guess, athletic facilities for high schools. Like, these are massive stadiums. So like this track and field, I understand that they're big in reality, Maybe the track and field is the one that makes sense. If we're going to do one, this is probably it. There's just not a lot of space in this area. This was bad planning. What was the planner doing? Just clearly not thinking about the future. Okay, let's do a bit of grading here as well to clean this up. Okay, let's reestablish these roads. Let's yellowfin. I don't love what it did here. Might need to be a little bit more cautious about this. Yeah, it's lower, it's raising it up. That's not so bad. Okay, let's get some of our names back. So the other thing I'm going to do is flip these buildings around. I think I'm making more of a mess than I meant to. Okay, so now I think I'm in a little bit happier place than I was. Okay, so that's more along the lines of what I was hoping for. I don't love this, but you know, we can landscape that at a later date. So now we have this nice stadium serving this high school. And we'll make it Guppy Stadium. How do I rename the team that plays here? Huh. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. So if you do know, let me know, because I am clearly not getting this. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to give up because I'm sure that someone in the comments can help me. I don't want it to be the alligators. I want it to be the guppies. Whoa! Look at all those cars. Everyone's loading and breaking this roadway network over here. Perfect. So we're probably going to need... This is probably going to end up forcing us to build a collector at some point to get some of this traffic away. We have... Well, not necessarily. Interesting. So that's where decision making can get you. Yeah, we're gonna have one more collector before we totally break everything here. And let's take a look at our grades. Totally flat. And kind of ideal for meeting up with this arterial over here. So perfect. So hopefully we can direct some of that traffic over to Bass Street, which is now huge. And that is terrible. I'd much rather have, if I'm going to have a significant amount of elevation change, I'd rather have it on this local street than on the collector. So this is going to be a priority road. And I don't know that I've actually been setting that on these. Yeah, let's make these all priority roads as well. Oh, interesting. It looks like when I put that bridge in, that became Myrtle Avenue again. So let's do a little bit of junction control. Okay. So I think we're in a good spot there now. And we're ready, finally. Well, maybe not. Let's look at our emergency services coverage. Yeah, we don't have any coverage over here, so we're definitely going to want that. I think I'm going to put this close to the school. So Pufferfish Way. Same thing with fire protection. And as far as healthcare goes, we're gonna need those sorts of services over here as well. So lots of needs over here, but we need to start being able to pay for this. We're gonna start going in the red soon if I keep this up. This is not a great way to approach this from the standpoint of the budget. Just building all this stuff. All right, so as I say that, I realize that there's one last thing I want to build, and that is the path network. Okay, because at this point I'm just going to zone along the shore, and I'm going to have really quite a bit of residential, if not all residential, kind of along this whole strip. This will be kind of a place where people want to live. Some activity happening down here. In this little corner here, we're going to have some office just to separate the noise. And then more residential again. Now there would be a break somewhere in this area. I think I might break the roadway network up again right here, because this is a really long block otherwise. And truthfully, this one is too, but it mirrors what's happening on the other side of the train station, so I'm not overly concerned about it. Okay, so let's just watch this build out a little bit. I'm going to speed it up. Okay, so we're not completely connected yet, but we're really getting close. I think that it's just a matter of time. The problem is we no longer have demand for residential. So let's take care of that. So I'm going to be a little less excited to continue zoning up a storm. One of the main reasons I'm going to kind of slow down a little bit is I want to think about some of the unique buildings that we'll have in this area, and that's not going to happen right now, but it will happen very soon. So I do want to rename this. Someone gave a great name, Amarillo Shores. Let's see this district. So we got a couple more districts in there. We're going to want to continue this down, and I think this might become a park in the future along the shore. For the time being, we just kind of need to let the city grow. And if you've noticed, we're starting to really add some population and densify, and we're going to continue doing that along the shore in the very near future, filling things in and continuing to build out the city. We also need to get our tram network down here. Right now, it stops in Empire Heights along Lincoln Street, which is okay for now. It's getting people from the inner city bus station and this downtown area, or this old town area, to Amarillo Shores. But this downtown area is going to have a lot of activity in the future, and people are going to want to get down here. Right now, there's no way. So we will take care of that. But for the time being, I think I'm going to leave it here. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And if you want to be notified when I release new videos, please hit that notification bell, and you will know as soon as I release new videos. Before I leave, let's look. Lots and lots of passengers. I love it. So getting some people into this area, getting them over here, and hopefully someday resolving. No, it's just not going to be resolved. Let's maybe that'll help. All right. So I'm going to cut out here. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.